Hi guys, in this example, I'm going to remind you how to factor trinomials that do not have a leading coefficient of 1. So here the leading coefficient is 30 using bottoms up method. So bottoms up method is actually, I think, much easier than all the other methods. So that's why I want my students to go ahead and use it. And so for step 1, what we do is we're just going to take the original polynomial and we're going to rewrite it so that the leading coefficient is 1. Well, before I do that, I need to specify what's going to be my a, b, and c. So a here is 30, which is the number in front of x squared. B is negative 11, which is the number in front of x. And finally, c equals 1. So I want to multiply a times c first. So that's going to give me 30 times 1, and that is 30. So now I am going to rewrite my new polynomial so that the first term will not have a 30 anymore, so you just drop it. The second term stays absolutely the same, but the last term becomes that a times c, which is 30. Now what I need to do is factor this one by trial and error. So I am looking for two numbers that would multiply to 30. So the two numbers should multiply to 30 and add to negative 11. So you usually will have multiplication table. You can look at the table, but notice that there is no way for two numbers to multiply to a positive number and add to a negative number unless both numbers are negative, right? Because two negatives gives you a positive, and when you add two negatives, that gives you a negative number. So we're looking for two negative numbers. Well, what will multiply to 30? Well, the easiest thing, if when you look at the multiplication table, that would be 5 and 6. And 5 plus 6 actually add up to 11. But remember that we want negative 11. So the two numbers we're looking for is negative 5 and negative 6. And so the factoring here will be x minus 5 multiplied by x minus 6. Now, you can always FOIL this and make sure that this is correct. So I'll get something like x squared. Then I get minus 6x. Then I get right here, so this will be like minus 5x, and also like this. So this would be minus 5 times minus 6, that's plus 30. So check and see that it's actually the same thing as the original polynomial. So x squared, combining these two terms, that gives you negative 11x and then plus 30. So my factoring is correct. So what do I do next? So next, it's actually not the final answer, because remember, I changed my original polynomial and I moved the 30, right? That disappeared, and instead I changed the last number to a times c. But now I have to rewrite it. So how am I going to rewrite it? So what I need to do is my factoring, that x minus 5 times x minus 6. Instead of 5, I'm going to put 5 divided by a, whatever a was. So a was right here, so that will be right here. So this is going to be 30. And then the other one will be x minus 6 divided by exact same thing. So right here, I'm also going to put that a, and that's 30. So the next thing I need to do is see if any of these fractions are reducible. So I am going to see if 5 over 30 can be reduced, and also if 6 over 30 can be reduced. So if I just gonna go ahead and refresh the page. So 5 divided by 30, can it be reduced? Let's click on the little fraction button. Yes, that can be reduced, and that's actually 1/6. So that's gonna be here. Now let's see if 6 over 30 can also be reduced. So that, yes. And so again, click on the fraction, that'll give you 1/5. So looks like we're almost there. The last thing to do is to take the number that we have on the bottom, so this number right here, and we're gonna take it and move it in front of x. So this will then become 6x minus 1, right? So this 6 was on the bottom here, but now moves in front of x. And I'm gonna do exact same thing over here, move this bottom also in front of x. So this is why it's called bottoms up. So bottom goes up, and then this is the final answer there. And I can always check that out, and I would suggest you always do that by FOILing. So this is going to be 30x squared. Then I get negative 6x. Then I get negative 5x. And finally, negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1. These two simplify to negative 11x. So if you look at the FOILing thing, that has to match the original polynomial, which happened here. So we are done.